Welcome everyone to Ed's Boozer, downtown Stourbridge, Dorset. You're here with the Brew Bros, Ed and Tim. Hope you're all well. We've got a tasting today. We have finally got our hands on Pliny the Elder from Russian River Brewing. Right down here. This is a very famous beer. One of the most famous, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've been wanting to try it for a long time.
In the Western beer world.
It's got a great reputation, isn't it? Very hard to source, but somehow you've managed it.
I managed it. I managed it through securing Western Pints on Instagram, although I do believe he's about to close down. And it was £25 a bottle. It's pretty cha-ching, but I think worth it as a one-off. We've only got the two bottles, couldn't afford any more. I do believe that if you live in California, you can buy 12 for $65. There's probably a business to be had there somewhere in smuggling in Pliny the Elder. Anyway, yeah, so Pliny the Elder dates from 1999, brewed by Russian River Brewing, who started in 1997. Head brewer Vinnie Cilurzo. That's a difficult name to pronounce.
I don't know about the pronunciation. Is
I think it is Cilurzo.
Yeah? Oh, he's done his research.
Cilurzo as in Chiller. I had to look on YouTube to find that one.
Yeah.
It's a multi-award-winning beer. It's double IPA. Many say one of the first, if not the first, double IPA. And in fact, Vinnie Cilurzo could be the godfather of the double IPA.
I don't think it was the first.
Wasn't it?
I don't think so. I think...
I know, big words, but I think Vinnie disagrees with that.
Yeah. Vinnie likes to get in touch. He's a big fan of the show, isn't he?
I think Vinnie's harder to get hold of than his beer, so...
I'll post a comment, no doubt.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
Right. I was led to believe because he was a brewer at Blind Pig Brewery, and a friend of theirs who ran a bistro, he every year he had a little kind of festival. And one year, back in whenever it was, you said 99 they first brewed it? So
99 first brewed,
99 first brewed, so just before that, he was hosting one of these beer festivals, and it was going to be a double IPA festival, specifically.
That sounds like a good festival.
Vinnie Cilurzo?
Yeah, Vinnie Cilurzo, yeah.
At this point, he was at Russian River, formerly at Blind Pig Brewery. Blind Pig Brewery did a double IPA, but Russian River didn't.
Right.
So he had to develop, he had a recipe in mind, and he had to develop it whilst at Russian River, and that's when he came up with Pliny the Elder.
Yeah, massively respected. It's very easy to come by in California. Well, having said that, I'm not sure whether it is or isn't, but at least they sell it there, and they've actually got their own tap rooms there.
Do you have to get it direct from the brewer in California?
I think you do. I think you do.
I'm out there a lot of the time. You have to go and queue up, don't you?
You have to queue up, yeah, particularly
on
for
set days.
Well, there's Pliny the Younger as well, which is a triple IPA. So that's about 12%. That you have to queue for. You can queue for hours just to get like 12 bottles of that.
I was reading about that as well yesterday, just because I knew we were obviously tasting this today. Pliny the Younger, he said the obvious thing to be would be to make it a teeper or a tipper.
Yeah.
But he was tempted to bring back the ABV by sort of 2 ABV to make bring it in around 6 and then massively boost the hops. But then he decided in the end to go for the tipper.
Quite interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's 8.2%. I'm not sure if I said that. It's supposed to be drunk as fresh as possible. As fresh as possible. And the ones we've got here, bearing in mind it's the 23rd of Jan today. This baby was bottled on the 29th of December, so that's pretty fresh. That's not even a month. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to have a taste and enjoy it and give you our first thoughts. We're not going to wax lyrical for hours because we haven't got time for it and we just want to enjoy it. So we're going to have a taste, then we're going to discuss a potential clone recipe we're going to do soon. As you'll see here, I've got 2 nice Teku, I believe they're called, glasses. Not sure how you pronounce that, but... yeah, which have been etched for us by Ian at Northeast Etching, so check him out, give him some love. He can do small batches, so if you just need 2 or 3 done for your own brew house, or 10 or 20 or whatever, he's your man. So, yeah, should we get into it?
Yeah.
Would you like to pour?
I'll let you do the honours.
You do the honours, come on. I think what this beer is all about is the hops, isn't it? It's basically... providing a...
He wanted to let the hops do all the talking, didn't he, from reading about it? And yeah. All
American hops, Columbus, Simcoe and Centennial. So basically the whole malt bill, everything about it is just to lay that foundation to let the hops do the talking.
Yeah.
So let's hear what they're talking about.
It's a good sign. A snifter? No?
Oh wait, it's in the glass. Just a half for me. Oh, I've already got that. That's a strong aroma.
Look at that. Lovely colour.
It's a lovely colour. Gold, isn't it? I have to say, since starting a YouTube channel, we have drunk some cracking beers.
Oh, I know. Ooh, I haven't got the
Yeah,
the balance
maybe.
quite right. You have that one.
Yeah, it's fine.
Look at that.
I'm happy with that.
It's great.
That is a lovely colour. There's a slight haze on it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. Lovely amber colour though, isn't it?
it is. Hope you can get that. I'll turn it logo to me. There we are. Not too fizzy.
No.
How's your sniff?
Yeah, good. Sorry, I had to. How's the smell? Is it good? Yeah, great. Again, everything you'd expect. Piney, citrusy, isn't it? From the
Yeah. A little bit orangey.
everything yeah. No, I can't really get that. I'm not saying it's not there. Just
Some oath filled up my glass a bit high. I can't swirl it around too much.
mine's perfect. Look at that. Lovely bit of swirl there.
That's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
So should we go in?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah.
What a heathen.
Cheers, Chief. Ready?
Yeah.
It's pretty great, isn't it?
It is.
It's pretty great.
Very smooth.
Yeah. Carbonation's perfect, isn't it?
It is perfect.
First of all, carbonation's spot on where I think it should be. Oh, it's lovely. Wish I had a bigger glass now.
Well, we do have a second bottle. Are we going to drink that off camera in a sec?
It's sharp, isn't it? It's very sharp, very, very bitter, but not too much. Like the bitterness is spot on. What are you saying the IBUs were?
High, around 90.
Yeah.
That's very high. I mean,
Right
it's
top
very
end.
bitter, but you get that sort of that bitterness, but then it sort of smooths it out. All while you've got an aroma of like tropical fruit, like you said, piney, citrusy. It's very good.
Yeah, initially, when you first put it in, when you first sip it, it's a high amount of bitterness, but then it quickly kind of fades.
Disperses, yeah. Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, well done, Russian River. Well done, boys and girls.
It's pretty good. I mean, 8.2% is obviously high, but it's and you can taste it. You can taste it's obviously a high-ish ABV, but it's not harsh, is it? It's not.
I think the body's spot on as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not all it's not like thick and chewy, is it? It's a nice light drinking IPA that.
Yeah, it is. But that's what it's all about, isn't it? I mean, when we talk about the malt bill in a minute, you'll see that it was all about just creating something that didn't have too much body, just so the hops can sing through, which they absolutely do.
Definitely.
Ooh, I almost smashed a load of glasses. 8.2%. It's gonna hit you, isn't it?
Yeah, that's bang on, isn't it? That's really, really nice.
Really good. So we're going to do a bit more drinking, and we're going to come back to you shortly. This is a beer you have to try before you die. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Spot on. Yeah,
It's
really
spot
good.
on for a double IPA, yeah.
It's so bitter, but it's a good bitter, isn't it? It's not too much.
No.
That's what gets me.
I would say any more than that, and that would be too much.
Oh yeah.
It's literally right on the money, and it's just very well balanced.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so the next part of this, bearing in mind that we've just had a few glasses of 8.2% beer, so I'll try and hold it together.
Can't believe you only got 2.
No, sorry.
Cheap bastard.
I'll work on that for next time. So now we want to talk about the clone that we're going to do over the next month or so, and try and reproduce this as close as possible. Unfortunately, we probably won't have a beer to compare it against anymore. We'll have to go what's in the old beer bank.
Yeah.
But we have stumbled across an interesting article on homebrewersassociation.org, which is an interview with Vinnie Cilurzo himself. And the article's called Brew, a Double IPA. and he's obviously blazed a trail, and he's obviously the person to listen to when it comes to that. So yeah, we had a good look there, and it does actually detail a full recipe, which will be in the description below. And it's based around 4 principles. As I said earlier, simplicity and creating a very hop forward beer. The first one is a simple malt bill with a small amount of crystal. He doesn't like excessive crystal use.
No, he said too much crystal, and with the type of explosive kind of hops you've got, they could lead to a bit of a train wreck. I think
train wreck is that word, I think.
So minimal amount of crystal. A little bit of carapils, wasn't there?
Yeah, a little bit of carapils.
Again, a fairly small amount, and he said to limit the amount of pale the amount of pale malt you use.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want it to have too much body, like we mentioned before. He wants the hops to do all the singing. So he recommends using dextrose, but he said you can scale that however you want it. So if you like a bit of body in your IPAs, you can have a little bit more pale malt. If you don't, then bring the pale malt back and boost a bit more dextrose. Yeah.
So that's one of the other 4 points is the is sugar in the boil, the addition of sugar in the boil. You've analysed the grain bill, didn't you? And you think it comes up a bit short.
Yeah.
Of what we need.
Yeah, I thought it looked a little bit low, and I've just on first kind of glance, I've entered it into my brewing software, and it does. I think the original gravity is supposed to be 1072, and I can't tell you off the top of my head what it is. I'll come back to that in a minute.
Yeah.
It's something like 1058, so a little bit low. So okay. I need to read into that. Highly doubt it. It might be.
And that is with the sugar.
Yeah. Yeah, with the sugar, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I highly doubt it. It might be my own error. Unlikely, I'd say.
But get the lab working on that then.
Yeah, we'll get the lab working on that. Down the old skunk works.
Yeah. So the other thing to talk about, and probably most importantly with this, is the hops, and particularly the dry hop, because it's got dry hop all over it, hasn't it? I mean, you can smell it a few feet away.
Yeah.
So they go for 2 dry hops, and they add hops. For 12 to 14 days?
Yeah, 12 to 14 days. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the second dry hop addition goes in with 5 days to go. But he suggests.
All right. So the first one is it will be, wouldn't it? 12 to 14 days, really early.
Yeah. So yeah, you're going to have hops in there. If you dry hop for the 14 days, you're going to have hop contact for 14 days, which is, I don't know, depending on who you listen to and where you've read it, you know.
Yeah, some would say that's going to be hot burn all day long.
Yeah. Most people sort of say you don't want any sort of hop contact any longer than 5 days.
Right.
But he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
A lot of people say you can get like a vegetable kind of grassy flavour.
Yeah.
Or aroma. So yeah, but I say we just go exactly by what he's suggesting, and can't go wrong. Surely.
See that you guys are going to see it on the channel, so you'll be able to see. And then we can talk about how we can tweak it, and then maybe go for a rebrew. Yeah. What about the second hop addition then? Because hasn't he said something about the use of CO2? Yeah. So it depends on what you're fermenting, and we're going to ferment in a conical fermenter. So by that point, all the hops should have settled in the cone. The first dry hop addition should settle in the cone of the fermenter. So what he suggests to do is to basically attach your CO2 into the bottom of the cone. Mm-hmm. Into the bottom of the fermenter, boost up some CO2 to sort of shoot all the first dry hop addition back up into suspension. Reactivate
to get it all back into suspension, and then
I've never even heard of that being done.
The second dry, I have. Yeah,
I mean, I'm a lot.
I've heard a lot of people who I've never done it myself, but a lot of people sort of say to get the most out of your hops, you can do it. You know, say if you're dry hopping for 5 days,
right?
In goes the dry hops, and then you can keep reboosting it with CO2 to sort of.
Okay.
Yeah.
I asked the question about if that is the principle, then why can't if you're just using a smaller system, like for example a demijohn or a carboy, can you not just grab that carboy and shake it around when you add your second dry hops? But that's a no because of the yeast. And, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So likewise, if you were going to do this, if you didn't have a conical fermenter, you'd be fermenting in your primary fermenter, and then I suppose you'd need a secondary fermenter ideally to get it off the yeast into the secondary. So you'd have a nice, clean, sanitized secondary fermenter ready to go. You pour your dry hops into that secondary fermenter, and then you transfer on top of the dry hops, basically. And then I guess with that one, again from reading what Vinnie Cilurzo says in that article, when it comes to adding the second dry hop addition, you pour them in through the top. And I think he says don't shake the crap out of it.
Yeah.
Just nice, like a sanitized spoon or stick or whatever, and just kind of gently stir it up.
Okay.
Certainly don't shake it.
Well, we're going to do it, aren't we? I mean, we're going to follow that recipe exactly. Again, recipe in the description below. And we mainly just compute the numbers on the old grain bill just to make sure that we're not, to make sure that we're in the right ballpark there. But other than that, we'll just follow it and see where we go, see how close we get.
Yeah. The recipe was based on a 23 litre batch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We're going to do a 40 litre batch.
Yep.
So I've done it. I've factored all that in, and I've checked it again.
On the
XS Brewtech, yeah, of course. Well, it's going to be a winner, isn't it? Surely. We'll find out. But I was just thinking of boosting each one, working out the percentage of the malt bill according to the actual recipe, and then boost each one accordingly to get it up to that 8.2% ABV that we're looking for, or cool. 1072 original gravity.
So you got that to look forward to on the Brew Bros channel. Keep an eye out, my friends. And the only other thing to say is that we're thinking about doing, obviously this is all American hops. We're going to do a British hop version. And we're going to call it Limey the Elder. Yeah? Copyright. So if you're looking at this thinking about nicking that name, forget about it.
I think it's a great idea. There's some amazing British hops out there. And
yeah, British hops definitely.
Overlooked because Americans are the kind of pioneers, aren't they, of this style. And,
yeah.
But definitely worth looking into.
Well, we got one, we were talking about Opus, weren't we? That used to be called a number.
Yeah.
But now,
Had a little bit of inspiration from Dig Brew, haven't we, from following our trip?
We have, yeah. Dig Brew was great, which you'll see about in another video shortly. But yeah, Limey the Elder, a British version of Pliny the Elder, coming soon.
Check it out.
That could be our first commercial beer. Anyway, so there we are. That's what we got coming up. It's a fantastic beer. Really enjoyed trying it. Like, the mind is blown that this was about in 1999. We were talking maybe off camera, just saying, what ales would you have gone in a British pub? Would you have gone to buy?
Well, in 1999, I was still queuing up outside my local supermarket waiting for people to buy me and my mates beers.
Yeah. But I was a university student who probably drank things like, to be honest, it was things like John Smith's and Bonington's and Caffrey's and obviously down here, obviously Badger Best. Really, that was basically it. I mean, the idea of an 8.2%.
Me and my mates used to wait outside the shop, waiting for someone willing to buy us a 4-pack of beer. It was always maybe not 4 cans, but it was 4 cans of Strike or Strike Extra. It was £1.96 for 4 cans back in the day.
That's a disgrace.
Yeah.
But the idea of an 8.2% beer that's as heavily hopped as this is was unthinkable in 1999. I mean, even now, 23 years later, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's still a very impressive beer that would hold its own against any double IPA you put it up against.
Definitely, yeah. It'd be interesting to know what there was available like this back then. I mean, I wasn't drinking in pubs and stuff back then. And,
well,
certainly not illegally. No, I wasn't.
Anyway, so I think we're going to wrap up there and say
right off on a tangent
and say thanks for tuning in and thanks for all the support with the channel and we'll see you guys again soon. Adios.